an extraordinary child. She was always, always positive, always trying to help me and with the other students. And of course, we had students of all caliber. You know, there were some that had nothing, there were some that had something, and there were some that had a little more. But if she knew that a student didn't have paper or pencil or lunch or something, she'd let me know. And if somebody got picked on or bullied or something, Cosette was going to let me know. That's what we called her then, Cosette. Some of them called her Yogi. And she was an it was several in that class that were just, they were such, I mean, to be 6-year-olds, they were just amazing. Cosette, Shirley Howell, oh, I can't call all of their names. I can see some of their faces and I can't call their names. And the little Foster, there were I don't know if they were twins or not, but they were about the same age, about the same size. They were some that I remember.
Do you remember knowing that some of those kids were going to be sent to the, I don't know what you called the white school, the
Yes.
city school? Did you know that they were going to be, you were going to be losing some of those kids?
I did, because Cosette would go to East Union, I believe. I think I had one that would go to Myrtle, and I believe all the rest would go to New Albany. And it was scary. It was scary for the children and for the teachers, really. We really didn't know what to expect. I think we were received I don't know how valuable. I know we were received, but I don't think we were ever, maybe in some cases, but we were never, it was never really shown that we could perform as the other teachers were performing. And I think we were working our rear ends off. I know I studied hard. And I remember that phonics was the first thing that I was asked to teach. And it was almost new. I hadn't had very many courses or lessons or things that I had bought books. Of course, I was attending Ole Miss evening classes or Saturday classes or whenever I could get a workshop in, or sometimes they would come to our school, or they would send teachers to Union County to teach groups of teachers that wanted to get some help. And phonics was, I loved it though, I did love it. And reading and phonics is when I first went to Ingomar. And I studied my head off and I did the best I could. I thought I was good. It seemed like integration came, and Mr. Smith, was he a Mr. Smith, the superintendent over at W.P. Daniel? Seemed like I remember him coming over to talk to us about this, and Miss Ford. They both talked to us about this, and it seemed like he told us that it was fixing to take place. And I remember some of us crying, and we were told, I want to say we were told in the beginning of the year that this was going to take place. And we were in maybe a little bit suspense, but there were some preparations made. We had meetings We had different kind of meetings in the afternoon after school to prepare us for some of the things we would be facing. And Mr. Woodruff, I remember he was one of the people who went to Ingomar, Mr. Woodruff, Miss Ludy Williamson, and myself. And but they tried to prepare us. And the one thing I think that did matter, that we did not have meetings with the Ingomar faculty. I think if we had come together, then that, I don't know, but seemed to me that would have been, good. But the next year, when school was out, I was told, that's where I would go. That we were told that's where we would go. The people in the Ingomar district would go to Ingomar. Those in the West Union district, West Union, Myrtle district, Myrtle, East Union, and so forth. And Miss Betty Haynes and Miss Mary Faulkner, they were the two people that took care of me that summer. And they really did take care of me. I mean, they encouraged me, they were supportive, and I know they were watching me and checking me out in every way, but they were encouraging to let me know that I could do what I had to do. And I believe Mr. Hall Phillips was the principal at the time. But Miss Betty Haynes and Miss Mary Faulkner, yes, they were there with me the whole summer. My dad had white friends, and Miss Mary Faulkner's father-in-law, Mr. Sonny Faulkner's father, and Mr. Whitwell's came and sat down with my dad on the back porch. I remember just so well, and Mama making them coffee. And they assured Daddy that he did not have to worry. I would be safe. And because I was afraid. And my dad said, you don't have to be afraid. I have friends down there. And that really did comfort me. And it was the older man, I want to say his name was Mr. Wisnez, but I don't know. He came one day and talked to Dad. And then Mr. Faulkner came back and told my daddy that we were going to be riding the bus. We did not drive to school. Miss Ludy and I rode the bus, I want to say the first 2 years, maybe 3. We rode the bus so that we didn't have to drive. And we would go on the bus with the students and come home on the bus with the students. I'm thinking they thought that would be some tragedies or some.
That was to protect you.
That was to protect us.
Within the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And now some of them said that they had people following the buses. I don't know that. But I do know that Mr. Faulkner told my daddy, you don't have to worry. She'll be safe. We're going to see to it that she's safe. And that was very, very comforting, because I was very much afraid. And because when we walked to school as children, we would run from one place to the other to try to get off the road before the buses would come by with the students, because sometimes they would throw things out at you, spit out at you, or what have you. They were just, pranksters. And we knew that there was some. There's always some. But you just didn't know what people would do. That next summer, after we had a lot of things thrown at us or what have you, I had an older brother, Joe, who would always try to make us, he said, get her. And then I had a sister, Bob, who was older than he was, but she was very slow. And my mother would always ask her, Baba Jean, why are you always behind the other children? Well, she had polio, but we didn't know it. And she would just give out. And so that's when we found out she had polio. And so there was some time in there that I missed school because they took her to Memphis, to some kind of place, Dr. Williams was the doctor, and she had a lot of treatments and what have you, and they brought her home. She died.
Where
That
was this school that you were attending at that time?
Mitchell Switch
Okay.
in Engelmar.
Okay.
It was on the County Road 86 now, which used to be Martintown Road, which was Route 4 before then. That's where I've always lived.
And there was a school there.
Yes,
In your
right
community.
where the church is.
Now, did you ever attend BF Ford as a student?
That summer, when Bob went to Memphis, I went to Miss Geneva Wade, who taught us summer class. I was 5th grade. That's when I met Tommy. That's when I started liking him. I don't know that he liked me. And anyway, I went there for summer, but when winter came, I went back to, back to Mitchell Switch. And I don't know how I got to school every day that summer, but somehow they got me there. It was just for children that needed help.
What was it like going to high school there?
Oh, it was joy. It's beautiful. I loved my high school days. And I had older sisters and brothers who had moved north and had good jobs, and they kept me clothed. And I always thought I looked cute. I always had nice clothes, and Mama was a good seamstress also. Never knew that I was poor. I thought I had what everybody else had because I always had food when I got home. Mama was there. Daddy was somewhere close by. And we were loved, and it was just a good time. And the teachers at B.F. Ford were wonderful. I think Mr. Kennedy, Miss Gibson, Miss Ford, Miss Young, all of those people were just, and Mr. Lawson, they were just wonderful. That was the highlight of my school was B.F. Ford. It's really good. And I had friends who, from my church, we all were there. So we sang. We had a little group that we would sing all the time. We won several contests. We went to the Jackson State Fair, performed there. That's Your Mistake was a song we sang so many times. Madeline Gordon and Katie Gordon, the three of us sang so many different performances we did. And we thought we were really something. We were on The Voice. And Miss Gibson encouraged us. She was the music teacher at that time, and she was the English teacher, really, but she did a choir. And she could sing. And everything was it was lovely. I don't know that I ever had a problem there. Of course, then my brother, who was in Indianapolis, thought that I could go to one of the Big Ten. I was not prepared. He took me to Indianapolis with him, got me enrolled in Butler. There may have been 10 blacks out there. I don't know, maybe a few more. But one of the people there told him that I just was not ready. And so he took me out of that school. They gave him his money back. He put me in IU. It was Indiana University Extension, the downtown of Indianapolis, because he lived in Indianapolis. And I went there for about a semester at night school. And it was still above my head. And so then a sister of mine got me and brought me to Russ College. And I got to Russ. I had lots of help. Well, when I got to Russ, I didn't know what to major in. I told my dad I was going to major in business. And he said, business? He said, who you going to work for? Who's got a business? I said, I'm going to be a secretary. And he said, I remember it so well. He said, now who do you know is going to hire you as their secretary? I had no idea because I didn't know a businessman that had an office or nothing like that, black. And he said, think about that. He said, I think you need to be a teacher. And my dad was a minister. And he actually came to Indianapolis and rode back on the bus with me. And when we got to Holly Springs, they didn't let me come on to New Albany with Dad. They had somebody there to pick me up, take me straight to the college, which I didn't know that was planned, but that they had that done. Miss Hawthorne, and they picked me up, and right next door to her was Miss Shaw, who let girls live with her. So she took me in. I lived with her for a year and a half. And I got on the right track. And then I got hired at B.F. Ford, first grade. And that was the highlight of my teaching. That was the highlight of my life, getting to teach first grade. That's what I wanted to teach. I always wanted to be a kindergarten teacher or first grade. And I loved my children, and I think I was really good. But then when I went to Engelbar, the first, I think it was fourth grade first, and then I finally got into sixth grade, which was really my heart.
Are you familiar with the book that Cosette wrote?
I'm not. I don't have it.
She wrote a children's book
Okay.
called Summer of '69.
Wow.
And it's about how she was in first grade at B.F. Ford, and how she had this, is all good,
Oh, great.
happy life.
Great.
And then how over the summer her mother prepared her for integration. And she didn't really realize that that's what her mother was doing.
I don't know why I hadn't heard about this one. Summer of 1969. Wow. Goodness. And that reminds me of Cosette. Oh, that looks just like her. My goodness. Those legs. Oh my goodness. I am so proud of her. Bernice Wade Gambrell. This is just a joy. This is just, oh my goodness. Cosette Juanita Gambrell, I calmly did say. Then she gave me a hug and sent me back out to play. Oh, I am so
It's
proud
beautiful.
of this. It is. She was some kind of a student. Martin Luther King Jr. Oh my Lord. Oh, there she is. Oh, that is her. Lord, now the little girl, she looks just like Cosette did when she was first grade. Just like her. This is just wonderful. I'm so proud of this child. My Lord, what a blessing.